So the comment is, thank you, I don't know how to listen for God's voice. Help. I'm so glad you asked this question. So, how do you listen to God's voice? You won't believe me if I tell you. You ready? It's actually your own voice. Right? I know. You're going, what is she talking about? How could my voice be God's voice? Well, your inner voice, that little voice that speaks to you, that kind of nudges you, that warns you, that talks to you, that guides you, that's God's voice. So the next question is, how do you learn to listen to it? Well, the way you learn to listen to it is by sitting quietly with yourself, or actually trusting your intuition, because we're always 100% of the time being guided. 100% of the time we are supported. We are never alone. The problem is we think we are, and we feel we are, which is very real for us as human experience. But if you just start to listen, right, before you do something, stop and ask yourself, what should I do? Listen to what comes up, okay? Now remember something. God's voice is always, there's an air freshener here that's bothering me, but God's voice is always going to be one coming from a place of love and protection, not fear, okay? The fear and insecurities and the criticism, that's our own voice. That's the voice of not God. It's not godly, okay? So God's voice is always going to be like, okay, if that's what you want to do, we love you. We're here. It's your choice. God has given us free will. Another great way to listen is by meditating. I know. People are like, oh, meditating is so hard. Yeah, meditating is hard, even after I've done it for so many years. But I think we complicate it more than we need to. Meditation is simply sitting with ourselves quietly. You can walk. Some people do walking meditations, which is fine. But it's being with yourself without music, without distractions. Some people use guided meditations, which is fine when you're learning how to meditate. But just simple meditation is closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in, and just listening to the inner voice and wisdom. Okay? And I promise you, the more you do it, the easier it gets and the louder the voice gets, because it's a muscle.